Hello, this is Schizoaffective. It's my new YouTube channel. I have another channel, so the link to it is on my other channel, which I'll give the link to my other channel on my profile page or my channel page. I just want to talk about, as I say in the title, coping with schizoaffective. Last video I recorded, surprisingly, I went off on a huge tangent. I mean, the video was like 23 minutes, so I set the timer for a shorter amount of time that's more condensed. And I won't give as much of my history as I gave in the last video that you didn't see, so you don't know how long it was. I'm just letting you know what I did wrong, which was give too much history. But I just give you the good stuff of how to cope with schizoaffective. First, let me tell you what schizoaffective is. Now, there is a disease, well, I don't really call them diseases, maybe a disorder I'll call them, which one is manic depressive and one is schizophrenia. Manic depressive is the up and down, the bipolar. If you don't know what that is, just look it up and research it. I can give you more symptoms. I'll probably list them in the description. As I said, I only have a little bit of time. I just want to get to the coping mechanisms I have. I want to focus more time on that. And schizophrenia is the delusions, the anxiety, the paranoia, the hallucinations, and all the worrying. It's just the depression. I mean, that's what it is. And schizoaffective is sort of this amalgamation, or this combination of the two. And you may want to research it. And I'll post a link actually to a website that talks about it, and a guy who has like a little blog, and I'll post a link to his blog. I don't know the guy personally, but I enjoyed his blog. Let me just look at my notes here. I can tell you that I've had a big history of schizoaffective disorder. If you want to know more about my history, which isn't important, you could always email me or send me a message on YouTube, and I'll be more than willing to tell you my journey and how I've come to this point. Not that I'm a super successful guru or anything, but and it's not like it was a completely debilitating, like crippling thing, but it is and it isn't. But if you want to know how I've managed just to come to terms and come up with just some things that seem to work for me, sure, just email me. I'm on YouTube, or my email if you can get it somehow. I don't know. I want to address some misconceptions before I get into the coping mechanisms. Some big misconceptions about schizophrenics, and I was looking at some videos. It just pissed me off on YouTube. Now I do admit there are some crazy schizophrenics and schizoaffectives and even manic depressives out there. Like, I've seen some. My brother is one, and I'm not dissing my brother. I love him with all my heart, but he says some crazy stuff. Like, if I could run and get the notebook right quick, I would. Like, he has these notebooks he used to fill up with like utter nonsense, page after page after page. I mean, all over the page of like these different stories and different ideas that made no sense and had no relation to the other. And it was sort of like a list of a plan he was making of things and people he needed to contact, or the ideas that came to mind. I mean, just concepts, and it just didn't make any sense. You know, my biggest wonder, I'm not going to try to take too long on this, is why does that even occur in the first place? Like, this is complete detachment from reality, and I have it too. You know, you guys are lucky to see me when I'm in one of my good moods. So yeah, the misconception is, see, it went off on a little tangent. It was about a minute. Is that people are violent. No, schizophrenics are not violent. You can research it. We're only violent if we've been off our medicine and we're not taking care of our health, and we're just letting ourselves go. And some people have worse cases than others, and I mean, you have to judge it on a case-by-case basis. But the large amount of schizophrenics are not violent at all. I mean, you can just look it up and you can research that yourself. A big another misconception is that, you know, we're irrational, so our voices shouldn't be heard. No, that's a misconception. Another one is that we can stop. No, we just can't stop. It doesn't work that way. Medicine can sort of help us to sort of reduce it, but it doesn't stop. And it's almost just as prevalent with the medicine. The medicine does a very mysterious thing I can't describe, which is sort of help us to cope and just to realize that it's not that bad. I can control my actions, not necessarily my perceptions all the time. I can think normally, as far as I can tell. Like, my thoughts are not just like some jamboree of like madness and like mathematical calculations or a beautiful mind and seeing all these different hallucinations. Hallucinations are very subtle, and it really doesn't work that way. It's like an inner voice that is external. I'll put it to you like that, or an inner image that manifests itself externally. I get mad when people throw around the medicine concept. I'm not going to get into how I feel about medicine. Here I go with the coping mechanisms. I got about 5 minutes left of what I want to record. What I've done, and I don't know if this works for you, is that I've been able, and like, to be honest with you, I've been off my medicine right now for probably, I have something in my mouth, I'm sorry, for 2 months now. I haven't been on the medicine for 2 months. I get depressed, I get frustrated, no more than I would if I was on the medicine, to be perfectly honest with you. It's because I can be a little bitchy sometimes, and that's just, that's bad behavior as well as a result of the schizophrenia. But what I do is, I've been able to tell the negativity to leave me alone. And this is something I've always practiced. Just like ignoring the voices. Like if it says something really bizarre, like, oh, they hate you. Or, or something stupid like you can't do it. Or something just like something negative. And I can't describe it because it never actually words itself out like that. I just say leave me alone. Or I just like, oh, this is pointless. It's ridiculous. I'm not even going to give it any attention, pay it any mind. Let's ignore it completely. And that may be hard sometimes because it may be so prevalent. But what you need to do is just, and I know this is sort of Eastern thought and sort of, and I'm not really a Buddhist or a Taoist, or I'm not nothing. I have nothing against these people, but you do have to become one with yourself and sort of ease yourself within, like control yourself within. And there's different ways of doing that. A good way of doing that is just realizing that there's more than physical. And I'm not getting into spiritual. I'm just saying like things that you can't necessarily see, but you can control. And that's sort of your mind state. You just have to take control over your mind and the way your thoughts work. Just like word out your thoughts, and if a delusion comes, laugh at it or accept it or analyze it. Usually, if you analyze a delusion, like it says something weird, something you can't quite understand, or it says something offensive, analyze it and like turn it back on itself. Like, why is that? And then sort of get creative with it and think of ways around it and how that works in reality and the foolishness of it, and then the deepness of it and the philosophical content of it, and you notice that it'll go away. And it works for me. I don't know if it'll work for you, and I hope it will work for you. Another thing that I've done is I find a hobby. Like I play guitar heavy. Not really good. I've been playing for about a year now. I write poetry heavy. I read a lot of Emily Dickinson, a lot of other guys. Can't even think of the other guy I'm reading right now. Ogden Nash. That's what I'm reading. Ogden Nash. I read a lot of him, and I play a lot of music. I love the Smashing Pumpkins. I love a lot of other bands like that. I just like the diversity of their music, and I just let the music take me away, and I just chill and I zone out. I don't get caught up in my thoughts. I don't get caught up in the miseries, quote unquote. And I'm going to show you what other stuff I've been doing. Nextly, I've been figuring out the whys about myself, the whys about the world. What I mean is the whys, the WHYS. Figuring out why I do things, why I am the way I am. Like why do I think that way? Like if I'm really upset and I can't figure out, not necessarily I can't figure out why, but I don't want to figure out why, because most of the time it's that I don't want to think enough. I just relax and figure out why about things. Like why do I feel that way, or why are they saying that? And I think of all the different alternatives, and I just start to think about the possibilities in life. So what I'm saying is sort of keep your mind occupied on things that require philosophical thought, which was like the last point in this point, like sort of refuting the voices and then doing that. I got 3 minutes left. I may go for a little while longer than that. I just don't want to go overboard with the time and go off on a tangent. I cannot overemphasize this too much to the next point. I used to be a drug addict. Marijuana, I did cough syrup, I did all sorts of dumb stuff like that. Guys, especially the schizophrenic, schizoaffective, manic depressives, anyone. And I'm not trying to indoctrinate you or tell you my views, because I'm an advocate for legalization of marijuana to a certain extent. But it's not good for us. It's not good for you, especially if you let it become prevalent or an everyday thing, or a thing that you must do and obtain this happiness. Yeah, man, let's go chill, man. We gotta smoke and chill out. I used to be like that, and I know I'm making a hippie voice, and that's usually the sound of a bigot. But I've come to realize that that's how it really is. It's like sort of a game, like we want to take the drugs so we can chill out and zone out, because we don't want to admit it and we don't think enough about it. But it's sort of our way of saying life is not good enough without it, and I need it. Think about it. What if people just chilled out and didn't smoke and just accepted life? Instead of smoking, they just watched a movie and just chilled out and been happy or just talked. You don't need weed to find out something new. It is the biggest lie that by smoking weed you can analyze music better, you can play better music, spit a better freestyle. Cause I'm a rapper, and I went back and listened to the raps that I thought I spit good when I was high. Man, that was some bull. It was bullshit. It wasn't even good. You know, and while I was spitting it, and even a little while after, I thought it was good. I thought it was the best raps I ever heard in my life. It wasn't. You know, it basically just gives you a false perception of reality. That's all it is. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because alcohol does the same thing. Cigarettes do the same thing. The medicine we take do the same thing, because it is contrary to the perception that our mind wishes to portray to us. If I'm using the right words, the right terms, maybe I'm using the correct grammar, I'm sorry. But you know, you can't just try to use drugs to get over miseries. Just work them out with yourself. Use your resources you already contain within yourself, so that once you have solved the problem, anything external doesn't become a crutch. It becomes a leisure, you know, because it's not a leisure when you're taking it to try to get over this. And you know, I've been through rehab and all these different places, and they never really helped. Just me having to come to the realization of this. The next point is, I gotta hurry up. I'm gonna do my 3 more minutes, 2 more minutes. Hope this is not too long for you guys. Whoever's interested and whoever's watching, thank you very much at this point. B vitamin 12. Let me see a camera, because I'm actually looking at the timer right now. B vitamin 12 is one thing I take. Melatonin is another thing I take, which is not the most important thing. It just helps me sleep, because I know I have tendency to want to stay up late sometimes. And niacin, which is B vitamin 3. Controversial about these vitamins and these diseases, schizophrenia and schizoaffective. But boy, oh boy, I've been off my medicine for 2 months. I'm going back on it. I'm actually going down to make some visits tomorrow to get the process going and me getting back on it within this week. Because I like being on medicine. But these vitamins help. And if you're taking medicine, you're still feeling upset. Oh, that was a timer. I'm still going to go for a little while longer. And you're still feeling upset? Try these vitamins, man, and just try being positive with these vitamins and drinking water. It will make you piss to a certain extent. That's only if you take really multivitamins. When I was taking these alone, just these two, I didn't piss much. Excuse my language. You probably don't want to know about my bathroom life, but when I started taking the multivitamin and drinking a lot of water, yeah, I did start to pee. But I don't know what's that really from it. Yeah, people say it does. Medicine isn't the only cure. You have to resolve to be calm and accept yourself as a friend. Accept yourself as a friend. The gifts that I get from this, and I want to get into a few gifts that I get. I'm not bragging, and I do have a sense of arrogance, and that comes from always thinking that the world revolves around me due to a lot of delusions, and a lot of people get like that, like thinking they're God and stuff. I'm not really arrogant, but I do realize things about myself. One of them is that I have a good amount of insight into things. I can be very clever at times, not by my own admission. I guess I can be wise. Sometimes people say that. I'm a quick learner, which I know for myself because I learn things quick. You know what you learn. Creative, because I know I'm creative. I mean, people tell me, but at the same sense, I know a lot of people say, oh, I can't do poetry, or I can't write a song, or I can't write a lyric, or I can't write a comedy skit, something like that. I can do that. And it's just like, it may not be the best, but I have no problem sitting down there and attempting to do it and coming up with something that can be considered the thing I'm going for. Now, let me finish up with, I want to tell you my goals are just to grow, live life, and learn, and accept my schizophrenia and subdue it, and not let it to master me, but I'm going to master it and not use it as a gift, like, oh, I have a gift and my powers of schizophrenia. It's not really like that. But I'm gonna just work with it and not let it bring me down, but coming to not work around it, but work with it and accepting it as a part of me as much as I accept my eyes and my feet and my toes and the things about me that I don't like. Like, there's certain parts of us that annoy us, but we deal with them, and just naturally as human beings, hangnails and different things like that. Like, I'm not saying this is painful. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just like, if it's not necessarily painful, but just like deal with it and accept it. So in the end, you just have to come up with your own things too, and realize that you can overcome this, and you're not alone. And there are people out there who realize the frustration that comes from schizoaffective and just other things like this, and you can overcome it. And mentally, you can, within yourself, resolve to get better. So thank you for watching my video. And I didn't really tell you what this channel was about. This channel was just for me to do all sorts of reviews and commentaries, not necessarily on mental disease, but on anything I want or you want me to do if you suggested. Giving a rant here or there. I love doing rants if they're really good. and just about anything that comes to mind. A review of a song. I don't know. I have another channel in which I upload covers. I won't be doing on this channel. So thank you for watching. Just stay strong and